Hey guys, what's up? It's that time of the month again where we get some new batch of movies, and I'm here to talk to you about some movies that are on my radar that maybe you don't know about, and some popular movies that are coming out that I'm really interested in. So let's just start off with the popular stuff first. Just rapid fire through them. Black Widow is coming out. I'm excited finally. Scarlett Johansson finally gets her movie, even though she's dead, spoiler, in the MCU. We finally get this Black Widow movie. I've heard nothing but pretty good things about it. It's currently certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. So if Rotten Tomatoes is like the source that you look for to, for your movie ratings, then I guess you should be happy about that. Next, we have Space Jam: A New Legacy. I'm really excited for this one. We have LeBron James in the role of MJ, pretty much, best basketball player alive right now. I'm just really excited for this. I'm a big fan of Space Jam, the original one, and I really want to get that 4K version of it. I really want it, but I gotta save money. Then we have probably a controversial movie on this list that I'm excited for, and that is The Boss Baby Family Business. Now, I don't care what people say, Boss Baby, the first one, deserves its nomination for an Oscar. I know, I love that movie, and I'm excited for the sequel. Next, we have M. Night Shyamalan's next film, Old. Now, I'm a big fan of M. Night Shyamalan. I feel like a lot of movies on this list are like harkening back to my childhood, like Space Jam and MCU. It wasn't my childhood, but I was younger back when the MCU started. That's the same with M. Night Shyamalan. I grew up on M. Night's movies. My mom was the one that introduced me to M. Night. We used to watch all the movies, Sixth Sense, Signs, Lady in the Water. I like him for the most part. I know he's done some bad stuff, Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I think he's a really creative director and writer, and Old looks cheesy, but it's M. Night, so I know there's going to be some weird twist in there. Now let's get into the kind of lesser known films that I'm excited for, and this one is called Meander. So if you know anything about this channel, then you know that this movie is right up my alley. It's, has one person, centers on one person and one location, and they have to get out of that location. For some reason, that's like one of my favorite things in film. And Meander looks like it's gonna have a lot of opportunities. It's like a mixture of a whole bunch of things like Saw and like every other horror movie, but I'm really excited for it. Next, we have Let Us In. Now, this one kind of caught me off guard. It's about this young girl who starts an investigation of a disappearance of several young teens in the small town, and she realized that something deeper might be happening around there. And it looks really well filmed. I'm really intrigued by this. There's not a lot of hype and not a lot of buzz by it. Maybe there is now after I'm talking about it, but it looks really intriguing. Next is First Date. Now, we all been there on the first date. It's really nerve-wracking, but this poor guy, he's having the worst first date ever. So this guy gets the dream date that he always wanted with the girl next door he's been crushing on for a while, and then all of a sudden people are pointing guns at him. He's in car chases, he's running around like drugs and all this stuff. It looks fun. It reminds me of like early 2000s movies with all the shenanigans going on. Next, we have Gunpowder Milkshake. Now, I don't really need to explain that much about it, because if you just go watch the trailer, all you need to know is a whole bunch of badass women with guns shooting people. That's all I need in a kind of movie like this. That's all. Next is Escape Room Tournament of Champions. The title is so cheesy, but I love it at the same time, because this film shouldn't be here. This shouldn't exist. The sequel to Escape Room should not exist, because the first film is a cheesy mess, which I loved, but it opened the door for possibly something's gonna happen. I never thought this was gonna happen, but now we have Tournament of Champions. After watching the trailer, it's kind of everything I wanted from a sequel from Escape Room, so I'm excited to see that. Now, next up is How to Deter a Robber. This one is weird. Now, I don't know if this is necessarily going to be a good one, because you have these two people who are pretty much like setting up like a Home Alone contraption while they try to deter these robbers that are coming in. I was intrigued after the trailer, but this is one on the list that could probably go bad. Next on the list is Great White. Now, just in time for Shark Week. I'm a fan of shark movies. I like shark movies a lot. Just like every other American in the world, we love shark movies. Recently, Steven Spielberg was asked if he would ever be part of or allow a remake of Jaws or anything. He said no. A lot of people on the internet were clapping their hands, yes, we don't need a remake. I personally was like, we got so much shark movies in the world. The Shallows is a really good shark film. People need to go watch that. But I'm not opposed to a remake of Jaws, because the original Jaws is there, and so is the sequels. You know, those happened. But Great White looks like it's gonna be a great-o time. You like how I did that? Next, we have The Green Knight. I've been waiting for this movie for a long time. And we don't get a lot of fantasy films. I'm a real big fantasy film fan. You know, you probably wouldn't notice it from just by looking at me. I don't know how you would, but I'm a really big fantasy fan, and we don't get a lot of fantasy films. And anytime you can give me a fantasy film that looks as pretty as this, that's by A24. I know the last A24 film, a lot of people didn't like, but I'm really excited for this one. Next up is Mandibles. Now, this is a weird film. It's like two guys find that they have a giant ass fly in their trunk. They didn't know it was there before. I don't know, it just seems so weird and kooky that I just wanted to check it out. A fly that's so big. That's kind of scary, actually. Next up is Blood Red Sky. Now, this movie looks like it's gonna be a good all time. I also like action movies that revolve around people in planes. I think it just adds more of the suspense. But this one looks really cool. It's like a mom that gets infected with like the T virus pretty much. And she's going around killing people, trying to protect her son and everything. That's just like crazy enough for me to want to check it out. Next up is Stillwater. This is the latest Matt Damon film. And you know, he looks like he's just looking for an Oscar nomination in this one. And that's not, you know, that's not a bad thing, but I usually don't tend to, you know, look at these kind of films, but this one caught my interest. You know, Matt Damon, don't mind him as an actor. And just the story around it. He's trying to get his kid out of jail, who's jailed in another country. That's just crazy in itself. And just everything that we saw from this trailer got me intrigued. And again, like, you know, anytime an actor puts on more weight or less weight for a role, I just am like really intrigued and see how it's going to turn out. The next film on the list is called The Exchange. Now, this one I can see also going pretty badly. It just gives me those vibes of like Superbad and like Napoleon Dynamite. It was like early 2000s comedies. I kind of miss those comedies. You know, nowadays, those comedies wouldn't pass like the test of social media because they would get destroyed and canceled. Like movies like Tropic Thunder and Superbad, like I'm saying, those movies could not be made today. But this one, The Exchange, this one looks like it's kind of like, you know, similar to that stuff, bringing some of that comedy back into the modern era, but it also looks like it could be really bad. So we'll see. And the last film on the list is R.L. Stine's Fear Street Part 1, 1994. Holy crap, guys, I'm excited for this film so much. I mean, if you haven't noticed, I got a lot of Goosebumps stuff in the background. And Fear Street is probably one of my favorite series other than Goosebumps. I'm just happy that these are finally being made and adapted into like the movie, TV series. We get 3 of them in the month of July. I'm so excited. But guys, let me know what you think of this list down below. Did you like any of these movies? Are any of these movies you are excited to see? Or is there any movies on here where you're like, what is wrong with you, Anthony? Why the hell do you want to watch that? I know it's Boss Baby. I know it is. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Also, check out my Twitter so you can stay up to date with my channel. And remember, guys, keep watching movies.